Christ lives in me. Galatians 2:20 CSB version says, I have been crucified with Christ, and I no longer live, but Christ lives in me. The life I now live in the body, I live by faith in the Son of God, who loved me and gave himself for me. Blessed be the reading of his word. This much loved verse is quoted and repeated often, most especially the first half of this statement, which says, I have been crucified with Christ, and I no longer live, but Christ lives in me. My dear friends, this is Paul's grandest declaration statements about the difference between faith in Christ and following the law. And yet, we don't know what exactly happens when someone is saved or justified by placing their faith in Christ. In a very real sense, Paul's argument is that we become so closely attached to Jesus that we die with Jesus, and Jesus begins to live in us. Paul has been emphasizing that faith and faith alone is what saves us. Adding any requirements of good deeds or good works or rituals is contrary to the gospel, as it says in Galatians chapter 1, verse 8 to 9. My dear friends, Christ was then crucified for our sin. So by faith, we trust that Jesus' death paid for our own personal sin. In that way, we are crucified with Jesus. Our sin was with him on the cross. That sinful self, that us, dies and replaced by the resurrected Christ in us. We don't continue to live in the flesh, my dear friends, but our lives are now directed not by our sinful selves, but by our faith in Christ alone. You know, Paul expands on this great truth powerfully in Romans chapter 6, verse 1 to 6. For the very first time, the Apostle Paul mentions Jesus' motive for giving himself for us, and that is Christ's love. Christ died for us because he loves us. Unlike the underlying system of the law, Christ is a person motivated by his love and concern for us. So then, my dear friends, nobody can be justified in Christ, in God's eyes, by the works of the law, but only by faith in Christ Jesus. To believe then in Christ is to be crucified with Christ and to have Christ replace our sinful self in you. God bless.